In this video, I am going to talk about double angle formulas for trig functions. In particular, I will discuss about sine, cosine, and tangent. So let's start off with sine first. You probably remember sine of alpha plus beta, sum of angles. So sine formula for sum of angles is sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. Now we are going to use this formula to derive the double angle formula for sine. So let's say my alpha and beta are the same, and let's call it both of them are equal to theta. That means alpha is theta, beta is theta. So my left hand side, if I plug in this value, left hand side is going to be theta plus theta, which is going to be 2 theta, right? And the right hand side is going to be sine of theta times cosine of theta, that's from this term, plus cosine of theta times sine of theta, which is the same thing, right? Sine of theta times cosine of theta. So this gives me sine of theta plus theta is sine 2 theta is equal to 2 times sine of theta times cosine of theta. So this is the double angle formula for sine 2 theta. Just to remind you, sine theta times cosine theta is the same as cosine theta times sine theta. So that gives you 2 sine theta cosine theta. Now we are going to use the same formula for cosine though, sum of 2 angles. So cosine of alpha plus beta is equal to cosine of alpha times cosine of beta minus sine of alpha times sine of beta. Now, like the first one, first example, if we assume alpha and beta are the same value, and that is, let's say, equal to theta, so then I'm going to have on the left hand side cosine of alpha plus beta is cosine of theta plus theta is equal to cosine of theta times cosine of theta, right? Because cosine of beta is theta, cosine of alpha is theta, minus sine of theta times sine of theta. Similarly, sine of alpha is sine of theta, sine of beta is sine of theta. So on the left hand side, I will have cosine of theta plus theta is 2 theta is equal to cosine theta times cosine theta is cosine square of theta minus sine theta times sine theta is going to be sine square of theta. So this is my second formula for double angles. However, this formula has different versions. So cosine of theta, cosine of 2 theta, I could write it as cosine square theta minus sine square theta. But remember, cosine square theta is 1 minus sine square of theta, right? Because sine square theta plus cosine square theta is equal to 1. And if you solve for cosine square theta, it's 1 minus sine square of theta. So I'm going to replace cosine square theta by 1 minus sine square of theta. Then you have another sine square of theta. So that gives me cosine of 2 theta is equal to 1 minus sine square of theta minus sine square of theta, 2 of them, right? So 2 sine square of theta. So this is another version of the double angle for cosine of theta. Yet there is a third version, which is cosine of 2 theta again is equal to cosine square of theta minus sine square of theta. This time, instead of replacing cosine, we are going to replace sine on the right hand side. Sine square theta instead of replacing cosine square of theta. So cosine 2 theta is equal to cosine square of theta minus, open parenthesis, sine square of theta is 1 minus cosine square of theta. Remember that. So cosine of 2 theta is going to be equal to cosine square of theta minus 1 minus, and minus is going to make it plus, cosine square of theta. If I simplify it, I get cosine of 2 theta is equal to cosine square of theta plus cosine square of theta is 2 cosine square of theta, then minus 1. And yet this is another variation of the cosine double angle. Now let me go ahead and talk about tangent. Remember, tangent of alpha plus beta is equal to tangent of alpha plus tangent of beta divided by 1 minus tangent alpha times tangent beta. 1 minus tangent alpha times tangent beta. Once again, we are going to assume alpha is the same as beta. That means they're the same, and we call it theta, let's say. So tangent of alpha plus beta is going to be theta plus theta is equal to tangent of alpha on the top, which is going to be tangent of theta, plus tangent of beta is going to be tangent of theta divided by 1 minus tangent of alpha is tangent of theta, and tangent of beta is tangent of theta. Now if I simplify it, on the left hand side I'm going to get tangent of 2 theta, because theta plus theta is 2 theta, is equal to tangent theta plus tangent theta is 2 tangent of theta divided by 1 minus tangent theta times tangent theta is tangent square of theta. So this is the double angle formula for tangent to theta. So we have derived the double angle formula for sine of 2 theta. Sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. We have derived double angle formula for cosine of 2 theta, which is cosine square of theta minus sine square of theta, and it has two different variations, which is cosine 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square of theta, and cosine 2 theta is equal to 2 cosine square of theta minus 1. And finally, tangent of 2 theta is equal to 2 tangent theta divided by 1 minus tangent square of theta. And we have derived this formula by using the sum of angles formula for sine, cosine, and tangent. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much.